Okay, looks like we're rolling right in the glare. There we go. Anyhow, just finished doing our complete overhaul on this beautiful old Martin alto saxophone. So this is like one step above the student model. This is the Indiana, pretty much the student model of their day, but I think it's better than pretty much anything made nowadays. You know, just beautiful engravings, got the Indian with the arrows. Probably not quite PC anymore, but anyhow, still makes a great saxophone. There he is. One of the first saxophones back then to have an adjustable thumb rest is really cool. And one of the features I like the most is the fun button. Your thumb just fits right in there. It's just so comfortable. You can see it's actually worn down, and the button's right there. It doesn't wrap around like the newer ones, but it's just a real comfortable feel. And again, the main feature on these are the tone holes. They're just absolutely thick and solid. So instead of being drilled and extruded, these are drilled a hole, and these are actually soldered on. And you can see they're like 4 times the thickness of the body, so they're super stable. Everyone is absolutely perfectly flat right from the factory, which is pretty rare in the saxophone world. And then they're beveled up towards the top. You can see the bevel here. So super thick brass, so it's very stable. The only downside, if you get a whack right there by the dent, they'll actually pop off. And extreme things happen. Sometimes the solder wears out or it gets bumped, and it'll actually leak around the tone hole, which is kind of bad news. But it doesn't seem to be the case. So this is probably the 2nd or 3rd generation for this particular one, and it's going to be starting up with a new player. And so this originally came with just little rivet pads with absolutely no resonators. So I put a little bit of just a moderate resonator in her, just a small one, just to give it a little pop. And you know, just hours of getting the pads in, getting them actually completely flat, getting them, you know, everything not leaking, then getting all the interactions. I mean, there's just crazy interactions. When you push down the F key, there's like 4 keys going down at the same time. They all got to go down all at the same time. So, kind of a pain in the ass. You always have to work with these old springs and such, and every little key's got a cork top and bottom, one for where it hits the body, one for its adjustment cork, and new cork on the neck, and new felts on the keys, key guard stops. So anyhow, here it is. So my test, you have to be able to just whisper down to that low B flat. It's just got to be right on to be able to get down that low, that soft. I'm not at all used to this old style key work down here, completely different than the old style, especially a little stiffer, especially that C sharp's always a bear on it, because there's no articulation, it's just one straight shot, and it's got to be pretty stiff to keep that thing closed. So anyhow, just going to play a little ditty and then get this thing wrapped up and get it in a nice little case and all the little goodies needed to play it. And it should be ready for another go-around. Come on. Unbelievable. Somebody, somehow, turn the volume off. I hate computers. Every time I do something like that, something screws up. Anyhow, then it just goes into all this crap. And again, feels completely different. This is like going, but back to driving an old Chevy with a stick shift, 3 on the tree and no power steering, no power brakes, compared to the new stuff. But you get going on this, and everything after it, it's just going to feel like a Cadillac. Anyhow, there it is. Martin the Indiana. Good old USA metal. You can feel it. It's got a heft to it. It's a pretty heavy horn, especially with no F sharp or all the other things they add on these days. So anyhow, there you go. I have exactly the same saxophone, pretty much. That's the Imperial, and from about the 1940s, and it's like brand new. So if you like the sound of this one, the Martin, the Imperial, is probably going to sound pretty much the same. It's just, I think, a little earlier than this one. But it's just absolutely pristine. So if you like the Martin sound, this is it. I mean, it's just really a popular sound. Anyhow, that's good. And www. Steve Gray Saxes, STVEGRAY, Saxes, plural.com. All right, adios.